All right, good morning and welcome to another edition of The Agenda. I am Chike Ubogu. Today on The Agenda, we'll be diving into a very critical topic, and that's the Southwest security and the role of the Oodua People's Congress in what we'll explore as the traditional model of community protection. You want to call it African science? Maybe. The Southwest region of Nigeria has long been a beacon of progress. But recent challenges like banditry, kidnappings, and the influx of insurgents from other parts have raised alarms. How do we safeguard our communities? What has been the role of the Oodua People's Congress, the OPC, a group rooted in Yoruba heritage, who often steps in where formal security might fall short? Well, joining me this morning is a key voice from the OPC, the Oodua People's Congress, Dr. Tunji Abiola, the National Director of Communication. Dr. Abiola, welcome to The Agenda, and it's an honor having you here.
Well, thank you, Chike. I'm so glad to be here, and it's always a pleasure.
Wow. Seeing you this morning, I would be tempted to saying that I want to see some form of African science, or do you call it African Air Force, as it were? You can protect us here, although we are safe here.
I don't really understand what you mean by African science, but if you are talking about a traditional man who has the responsibility to voice out in order to safeguard his people, I want to key into that.
You key into that?
Sure.
Can you disappear?
African science does not necessarily mean disappearance.
No, but you can disappear.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by disappearance.
Okay. That's what you call offer. You can doffer.
Every power belongs to God. Okay. Whether to doffer or to remain as you are, it is in the hands of God.
In the hands of God. But God helps people.
God helps, definitely.
And God comes through people.
Including your very humble self, Chike.
Okay. I don't think I've witnessed that. I want to witness that today.
That's interesting.
All right. The OPC was founded in the 1990s, precisely about 1994 thereabout, as a socio-cultural organization advocating for Yoruba interests. But it has evolved into a vigilante force, aiding security in the Southwest. So today on The Agenda, we will focus on its traditional model, leveraging community ties, local intelligence, and cultural practices for protection. So, Dr. Abiola, the OPC has been around for decades. Can you break it down for us, how it transitioned into a security role in the Southwest?
Well, thank you very much. Let me first of all say that security is a job that involves everybody, right from our various households. But when we begin to have issues that are not pleasant for the growth of a particular group or race, then there could be a teaming exercise of two or more persons to provide security for that particular group or race that is suffering. Now, let me say unequivocally here that OPC is a group that has at the helm of, at its peak, a young man that is strategically endowed, a young man that is highly cerebral, a young man that has what it takes to mingle and bring down forces of oppression, forces of humiliation, forces of intimidation from one person to the other, or from one race to the other. And that's in the person of the 15th Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, Ìbà Gani Abiodun Ige Adams. Because of the native intelligence, I said native intelligence, that put OPC as a trado-cultural organization ahead of other agencies.
Groups, yeah.
It gives us that right to say that if there are forces of oppression, forces of criminality, forces of banditry anywhere around us, for us to step in because of that endowed native intelligence. And that gives us, I mean, that really gave OPC ahead of the federal police or other security agencies.
So you've just talked about tradition and you've talked about culture.
Yes.
So when you fuse both together, you have trado-cultural.
Trado-cultural.
Now, so this traditional model is not about modern technology or maybe modern arms. It is more about cultural roots, our roots culturally.
Yes.
So can you give us example of these trado-cultural activities of the OPC?
Thank you. Before now, in the days of the old, our forefathers do believe seriously in what their great forefathers have bequeathed to them. And such things are still in existence. Some persons used to say in Yoruba, "Agbára ṣì ń bẹ bí tàtijọ́." You know, there's still potency in what our forefathers have bequeathed to us,
As it was
then, even till today.
Okay.
And that is the area where OPC stands different from every other person. It happened even far back in the East too. I used to hear Odeshi. What does it mean? Chike, you should be in a better position to tell me what Odeshi means.
Well, Odeshi, I don't know. I know I've lived all my life in Ibadan. So understanding Odeshi, I might not understand that.
Okay. Now, so what I'm saying in essence is this. We cannot underestimate the power or the potency of what our forefathers have.
Are they supernatural powers?
They are.
Okay.
I must be very frank. They are.
Okay.
They are, and they are still in existence.
Can you give us examples of some of these things that have occurred and how it has been put in use?
Let me say also that there are occasions. Let me give you an instance.
Yeah, I want to hear.
I once heard of a testimony of an elder in a church. I don't want to mention the name of the church. An elder who was traveling from Lagos down to Ibadan, either Ibadan or Osun State, I can't remember precisely, some years back. And he was attacked by armed bandits before Ibadan, around the Alakpako area. And what am I trying to say? Within a few minutes, himself, his wife, and 2 kids were ended. Now, 3 weeks later, a pastor of that elder from the same church, 3 weeks after, traveling along the same road, almost at the same spot, he was also attacked. But guess what? The eyewitness report says that the pastor and his wife and children were fired at, but
it did not enter.
It didn't enter. The question is this: is it the Bible? The question is a very pertinent question. Well, it may not really require any answer from you or yourself or my humble self. Is it Bible? Is it that Jesus waved the
The bullets.
The bullets. That is the big question. But one thing we don't want to acknowledge is this. There is the place of God is there, because everything that is in use today, there are things that God himself made. And God has actually given some persons special powers to be able to use those things to their own advantage. Because if you are so equipped and an armed robber penetrates you, you can always tell the armed robber, because what, this is not the right place for you. Go back to where you are coming from. That is the potency of the Trado cultural, whatever entities that OPC is sitting on today. And I must tell you specifically too that we don't really believe in making noise. We don't believe in making noise.
Action speaks louder than words.
We strongly believe in actions.
Okay.
But actions that would need to manifest and greatly and effectively would have to be backed up by government apparatus, government agency.
I'm coming to that government agency part. Okay. You know, I'm trying to figure that, I'm trying to picture that scene that you just gave to me now. The evangelist or deacon in a church, and the family wiped out, and the pastor
of the same church.
Of the same church. Nothing happened.
Nothing
just
happened.
3 weeks interval.
Nothing happened. The question people ask, that I asked too, is it that the evangelist is so his sin is so great that himself, his wife and children, and that of the pastor is so pious that is protected? The fact still remains that we are reneging in telling our people the truth. If I am on the pulpit preaching today, I have to tell my people some basic truth. If I deny you of certain things that I know will benefit you and safeguard you from the hands of the hoodlums, the enemies, and I didn't tell you, and right in the corner of my room I am doing that which is needful to protect me and my household, something is fundamentally wrong.
Something is fishy.
It's fishy. So that is the thing. And in OPC, we don't hide from the truth. We don't hide from saying to the whole world that this is who I am. If you want to break your relationship with me because this is who I am to protect my life and my family and my environment and my race, then so be it.
You just said something that the OPC doesn't pretend to be who they are.
No.
Well, I hope that statement will still hold waters at the tail end of this show today.
Please.
Okay. Well, critics, including some human rights reports, have accused the OPC of vigilantism that has turned to violence. And then the question I want to ask is, how does the OPC address that in the traditional approach? For example, there's supposed to be a vigilante group, protect lives and properties. However, some have criticized the OPC of turning it into violence. Have you, as an organization, tried to, correct that? Because in every 12 there's a Judas, no doubt. But how have you been able to, or what are you doing to correct that malady?
Well, let me quickly say that vigilante activities are embedded in a range of social relations and what we call historical trajectories. Why vigilantism, transforms relationships of power within the state or within the community, it does not necessarily undermine, all aspects of state authority.
Okay.
And that is where I'm coming from. OPC as an organization understands the power of the state. OPC as an organization understands the authority that is bequeathed in the person that is pronounced the governor or the government of a state.
Constituted authority.
Constituted authority. And that's why OPC will never do anything that is not in tandem with the constitutional provision of the nation that we have found ourselves in. You will see OPC today having people who are highly cerebral.
Yeah.
People who are, I'm able to tell you today that even the national coordinator himself, Iba Gani Abiodun Adams, the 15th Arano Kakanfo of Yoruba land, is a graduate of prominence, a graduate not the kind of graduate that passes through night school, you know, that graduates that pass through, a graduate from the Lagos State University who has classmates and who has professors who have taken him through school. The OPC, the National General Secretary, is a barrister at law with sound evidence that this is who I am. The National Public Secretary is a barrister at law. I am the National Director of Communication. I used to be the Oyo State Coordinator of OPC. You know, and to the glory of God, apart from having my time in the military, I also have my time in the teaching, in the human resource management, area. What I'm saying all this is that OPC has men and women who understand the nitty-gritty of the law.
You're trying to say that despite the notion that the public has that the OPC are majorly of illiterate, there are cerebral-minded people there.
No. I am not. I am saying this without any fear of favor. There are evidence, empirical evidences, which anybody can search and find out.
I'm impressed.
The Assistant National General Secretary has a master's degree, a proprietress of note in Lagos State. I mean, I can name them. In Oyo State here, the state secretary of Oyo State OPC has a master's degree, is an education officer, a teacher, of high level in Oyo State. So I can begin to name. So if you have people with such integrity, with such pedigree, you think of what you will expect. You don't expect any kind
anything
of violence, anything less. Okay. You can't see me now going to a place to fight an unjust cause. No, Iba Gani Adams will not do that. And that is why people are still clamoring today. Iba Gani didn't say anything. There's killing here, there's killing that. There. He cannot. I cannot, because we are all under a particular authority.
Okay. Now, you are a member of the OPC, the Gani Adams faction.
Yes.
I know the OPC is an umbrella with different factions.
Yes.
There's the late Dr. Frederick Fashion's faction.
Yes.
I know that. And then the Gani Adams faction.
Yes.
How many factions of the OPC do we have?
Now, let me be first, before I go into the factions. The Oodua People's Congress.
Yes.
When you have your aim at the foundation of OPC, the aim was actually to safeguard Yoruba ethno-nationalist interest vis-a-vis the state. You know, it was a childbirth. It was born after the 1993 annulment of
the June 12th.
Now, and because there were several oppressions, several politically leading to oppression of individuals, and that was what gave birth to. Now, when the founding aim, when there was a little bit of digression from the founding aim, there are bound to be division, and that was the essence of the breakage of OPC Iba Gani Adams from faction. Because among the nine persons that started the OPC, Iba Gani Abiodun Adams was perhaps the number second or the number third person. that founded it. But because there was a diversion from the initial aim, and that was what brought fashion, Gani Adams fashion. Now, thereafter, some group of persons, because they needed power, they needed popularity, they wanted to be recognized too. They felt that it is time for them to pull out, stand alone. Then you now have what we call reform, pulling out of fashion. OPC reform, pulling out
OPC
of
reform,
pulling out of the fashion version. Okay. And Gani Adams version is still going on and still, but because you cannot always have people with 100% loyalty, especially those who don't really understand. Those who began the OPC as people without much of intelligence and who have refused to upgrade, to educate themselves. They thought that they too needed freedom that they cannot really stand. And there's another breakage from the Gani Adams fashion, and they call that OPC New Era.
Oh, OPC New Era.
Broke out from
the Iba Gani Adams faction. OPC reform from the fashion faction.
So if I want to count now, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, 4 factions of the OPC. And then,
but the but there is that, thank God for the conglomeration of the Yoruba elders who understands the importance of Iba Gani Adams in the struggle to protecting the Yoruba race when he was named the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land.
Because I wanted to get there, that you have 4 factions of the OPC. How then do you speak with one voice? That's one question. And secondly, Iba Gani Adams is the 15th Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. He became Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò in 2016, January 2016. And then we want to ask, he is the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land. Why hasn't he been able to fuse these factions together into one to have one voice?
Okay. Now, thank you very much. Let me say this. Whether OPC, Iba Gani Adams, fashion, New Era,
the reform,
and some other
splinter groups.
Okay. The Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, named the Generalissimo of Yoruba land, is the overall.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether anyone accepts that fact or not, or whether anyone likes it or not. Now, he has been making effort, concerted effort, to ensure that all these groups, leaders of these groups, are brought together. And that was what led to the foundation of what they call Southwest Stakeholders Security Group.
Okay.
Southwest Stakeholders Security Group. It was formed by Iba Gani Adams, bringing all the leaders of the other factional groups together to brainstorm, to deliberate on what needed to be done to be able to put the security situation of the Southwest in order. So virtually every week or every two weeks, he is summon meetings. They have meetings of almost about 12 groups, 12 or 15 groups belong to the Southwest Security Stakeholder Group, and they hold meetings on the way forward on how to secure the Southwestern states.
All right, that's so insightful. If you have questions, dear listener, dear viewer, tweet at us on the app X at DominionCast, on the app X. I'll take some of your tweets later on the program. But as it were now, let's look at the current security challenges in the Southwest. Dr. Biola, the Southwest faces rising kidnappings on highways, like the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, that's the bandit incursions in Oyo, the Gogon attack, reports of insurgents fleeing northern bombardments into our region, into the southwest region. And you hear of herdsmen attack. There's a community at Idia, you read there, Ogun. I will remember the name of the community. And then you have so many attacks within the southwest region. So how does OPC view these threats? And or you don't see them as threats?
Now I'm so happy for this question. To OPC, Oodua Post Congress as led by Gani Adams. Those are not threats. They are efforts at promoting criminality. And honestly, without mincing words, I must tell you that OPC, as led by Gani Adams, is equal to this task. Let me give another example. I was coming from Lagos one day. Then I was still, I think 2023, October to be precise. I was the coordinator, the Oyo State coordinator. I was coming from Lagos, and vehicles are parked at the express, parked. What is happening? Very close to
the popular
Onigari area.
Okay.
Very close. What is happening? I was in a public transport, a bus. What's happening? I came down. And I was walking up, asking questions. One down, don't know me, I'm full and one check, look at buses parked. So I kept moving. And people were now asking, Oga, let's go, let's see what is happening there. I said, no, I'm full and I kept moving. Do you know that as I was moving, I was moving, policemen that I was meeting on the road were reversing. For you to know that there's trouble in this.
Palpable fear.
Yes. I was moving forward. Do you know what? By the time I got to the spot, 3 or 4 of my boys came in from, we have a local government, Oluyole.
Yeah, Oluyole at Oluyole local government.
3 or 4 of my boys already came from inside the village with Okada. They were dislodging the Fulanis. They were dislodging the people when I met them. As a matter of fact, I sighted one, grabbed one of the Fulani, attempt to pull him down, even with his gun. The belt of the guy pulled, and that was how he ran into the bush. 4 of my boys. 3 or 4 of my boys. If I didn't witness it, perhaps I would say this is fictional. You understand what I'm saying? Why I am saying this is that those things are not threats to OPC. But when the major things that needed to be done is not done, OPC cannot do anything.
So OPC seem to be weak now, especially not acting. What are those major things that are meant to be done?
OPC is not weak. Let me say that.
So why are they not acting?
Beautiful. OPC, the leader of OPC, the national coordinator of OPC, the state coordinator of OPC, all the national coordinating council members of OPC, we are all subject to the law. There is nothing neither Gani Adams, nor my humble self, nor any member of the OPC can do without the law permitting, express permission of the law.
Okay, I get that, no doubt. You have to work within the ambit of the law. However, is it that you're not being recognized because you're fractured as a group because of the factions that are there, and that's why the government has really not recognized you as a group like it has recognized Amotekun?
Good. Let me be very sincere to you. The government has recognized the OPC as led by Gani Adams.
Okay.
The Amotekun that you are talking about today in Oyo State, Gani Adams is instrumental to the formation of Amotekun.
Is he their doctor? Is he their traditional doctor?
No, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I said he's instrumental to the formation, of the Amotekun.
Okay.
And that's why, thank God for His Excellency, Governor Seyi Makinde. He recognized the role he played in the formation of Amotekun, and that was why he is the ambassador of Amotekun today in Oyo State. As I speak to you, he has Amotekun van and Amotekun guys working with him as of today. Now, the Amotekun we're talking about is supposed to be a group for the southwest states generally. But if not for Governor Seyi Makinde and the late
Oluwarotimi Akeredolu,
who stood their grounds that no, this nonsense cannot continue. And that was what formed the Amotekun. And today, I want to tell you that, let me say 50% or more of the members of Amotekun today are members of the OPC. They are people from the OPC. Let me also tell you that for you to know that it is not that OPC was not recognized. OPC of Iba Gani Adams was recognized because as I seated today, I made bold, I'm on air, that I was even part of the trainers, part of the consultants that trained the last batch of Amotekun in Iseyin.
Okay.
And the fact still remains that I am an OPC. I was the OPC state coordinator then. Thank God for same Governor Seyi Makinde, who has been able to identify that there are people who have the know-how, whose experiences can be leveraged upon. And that was why he had that colonel, the very experienced soldier, a combatant soldier. And he too, having understood the import of persons who have both the native intelligence and the environmental intelligence to do the work. And it brought us closer. And that was what prompted my being invited to be part of the training group at the last recruitment exercise in Iseyin.
Okay, so you mentioned Governor Seyi Makinde.
Yes.
You've mentioned late Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. OPC is supposed to be a regional group, trado-cultural group.
Yes.
There's supposed to be OPC in Osun,
Yes.
Ekiti,
Ondo,
Ogun,
Lagos.
To the Amotekun as officially as members of Amotekun.
Yes.
But we seem not to be feeling their impact in places like Ogun, Osun, Lagos, as it were. Why?
Thank you. You see, I am not a lawyer. I'm a counseling psychologist by training.
Okay.
But I also know that Section 174, so subsection 2 of the Constitution, Nigerian Constitution, makes the governor of a state as the chief executive of the state. The governor of a state is the chief executive. That's the provision of that section. Is the chief executive of the state. And if somebody is the chief executive of the state, that means that he stands as the chief security officer of the state. He has the right structure of that state. Will begin to have such structure of that state. Will begin to have such divisions. You see, because Governor Seyi Makinde, a very good governor as it were, understands the importance of the native security, agencies, and that's why himself and Akiti stood their grounds that, Are, what must we do? Are has written letters to all the governors in southwestern states, especially when this banditry kidnapping was so rampant. Say, give me the necessary support. Give me a documentary mandate and give me 6 months if I am not going to put an end to this banditry, to this, kidnapping. But the governors were not doing anything about it. Even the traditional rulers were also written to support him. What we are having is political shenanigans, and that will not take us anywhere. I have said that in several places, that if you want to really prove that this is indeed the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba land, and this is and that was why Ààrẹ wrote, you traditional rulers, join hands with me so that the governors can give us the necessary mandate to be able to fight this. There are foot soldiers. There are foot soldiers in OPC. There are foot soldiers. I am saying this unequivocally, that there are foot soldiers who can face this bandit. There are foot soldiers. But if the go-ahead is not given, tomorrow they will be the ones who say, Tado Ronche, who asked him to go ahead and do it.
Do you have any
I'll give you an example.
Okay, go ahead.
When the Igangan issue began,
yes, native intelligence. You should be able to native intelligence. You should be able to. Do you believe in?
Ifa?
Yes. Yes, you can ask.
If I want to begin to tell you that, I won't begin to tell you that. If I want to begin to tell you that, I won't begin to tell you that one. It's not all security issues we discuss on air.
Okay.
So if you ask me, it's not all security issues we discuss on air.
Okay.
So if you ask me for my strategy now, Chike, I won't tell you.
So
what if you say, Dr. Abel, what is your strategy to?
But you can find people if you want to find
relationship.
Okay. I know there are so many challenges ahead, considering urbanization. You know, many people are leaving towns, they are leaving the villages, coming. You know, many people are leaving towns, they are leaving the villages, coming to city. There's rural-urban migration and all that. But if we look at this factor, would you say that many people will be leaving the rural areas, abandoning the core cultural values and wanting to embrace tech, embrace AI? Or is there also AI Ifa, AI traditional means?
Ifa summarizes all.
Okay.
Summarizes all. Whether AI, whether Ifa. AI will tell you, when you tell me, who is Chike?
Bring it out.
AI will tell you. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you call a Babalawo and say, who is Chike? Ifa will tell you. AI, Ifa summarizes AI, summarizes tech, AI, whatever.
So all those ones are the,
yeah.
Ifa is the origin.
Is the origin.
Is the source.
Is the origin.
Okay, so then how do you, is there any difference between Western security and traditional security?
Western security?
Yes, and traditional security.
Yes.
Okay.
The difference is very simple. Traditional security engage the use of things of our forefathers to be able to...
What you call Ibile.
Ibile. To be able to protect themselves, to be able to even navigate the route of the evildoers, to be able to... the traditional things are used as compass. I remember back days when I was in the military. I didn't tell you I was a soldier.
Oh,
yes. Back days when I was in the military, I remember anytime we want to go on bush sites, we use compass. We use compass. Compass will tell us this is we're inside the bush. Northwest. Yes, okay. Yes. In the traditional security paradigm, if I would tell you this place is a no-go area, don't go. This place, yes, the enemies are approaching from here. You can approach them from here. That is native power, native intelligence. And that is what differentiates traditional security from Western. Western security will always... There was a day, let me tell you one gist. there was a day I was rapping. I was talking with my boss, Iba Gani Adams. And I can't really remember what the discussion was. And I said, Logunfe, I too, I'm not a very soft bone. No. I'm a very tough bone too, because as a retired military person, to the glory of God, we were trained. A soldier is trained to kill without being killed, and that is who I am. That's who I was and who I'm still am. And I can't be intimidated though, by anybody. Iba now said, Doctor, the difference between you and the traditional boys is this. I'm just using this illustration to be able to tell you the difference. The difference between you and the traditional boys is this. In those days when you were in peacekeeping, when you were in one task force or the other, when you pursue, you aim, you always take cover, isn't it? I said, yes. I said, that is part of the Fieldcraft training. You pursue, you aim, you take cover. You pursue, you aim, you take cover. There's what we call camouflaging, there's what we call concealment. He said, here in the traditional security, we pursue, we keep pursuing and keep firing. We keep pursue and keep firing if we want to really get to results.
You don't take cover, you don't
camouflage, because already the cover is already embedded inside. The cover is already embedded inside of you.
Okay.
You know, that was what my
through drinking water or through eating?
Everything, chicken. Everything.
Well, I have questions here, but because of our time, I'll take this question on the app X at Tunski347. It says, how can ordinary citizens join OPC?
Well, it depends on where the person is situated. Okay. Because in every state, we have state coordinator.
Okay.
And we have local government coordinators. And we have zonal coordinators.
Okay.
The person will report, will join from the zone.
Basically, the person just has to locate any OPC
office.
Okay. So while we're talking, to round off all that, while we're talking, you said the OPC doesn't hide anything.
Yes.
They come out, they're proud to be who they are.
Yes.
And I said we'll find out at the tail end of this show.
Yes.
I want you to show me some mystic powers. Since you don't hide anything, I want to see some powers.
OPC members are not magicians.
But you do some things.
Shike, we are not magicians, so it is only magicians that will tell you abracadabra.
I want you to show me traditional power. I want to see how potent it is.
It's embedded in me.
It's in you.
If you want to, if you want to find that out, you can also, you know.
If I hug you, can we disappear?
Why are you so interested in this?
I want to see how it works. I've not seen it before. I only watch it in movies.
No, you see, we will always keep security issues, security matters, we keep it as it is.
Can you make someone stand and keep laughing?
I don't know how to interpret that.
But can you make someone stand and keep laughing?
That means you are eventually turning the person to a mad person.
Not a mad person, maybe a zombie.
Well, Chike, when the time comes for all those, it will definitely manifest.
Thank you, Dr. Tunji Abiola.
Thank you very much.
For featuring on the agenda this morning. I wanted to have some powers this morning, but I think I'll consult you so that I'll have some powers. And then whoever is coming to my farm to attack my farm and eat up my crops, I'll be able to deploy the powers Dr. Tunji Abiola will be giving to me.
The thing I will beg the governors of this Southwest state is to yield to the clarion call of the masses and of Iba Gani Abiodun Adams. We are still very much on ground and still interested in saving our people from the hands of the bandits. We are on ground. I'm able to tell you that we're on ground. I have said it before that if anybody feels that is this, let him dare where any OPC member, any OPC member lives. Let him there.
Thank you, Dr. Tunji Abiola, for featuring on the agenda this morning.
The pleasure is mine.
Yeah. Dr. Tunji Abiola is the National Director of Communications of the Oodua People's Congress. The program is the agenda. But dear listener, we can keep this conversation going Do follow us on all our social media platforms on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The handle is at Dominion Broadcast. And on the app X is at Dominion Cast. You can also visit our website at www.dominion.org.ng. I am Chike Ubogu. I'm saying stay vigilant.